When I was a kid, a troubled girl masking as a gifted child, I lived in my head more than in the world. I watched all sorts of shows and movies to pass the time, but more than that, I think I was searching for something. Maybe comfort, maybe clarity, maybe someone who looked like me on the inside. I don't remember much about how I felt when I first saw these characters, but looking back now, through older eyes and a more honest lens, I can tell I didn't always take their lessons to heart. And I'm trying not to be too hard on myself for that, because now I'm going back, not to live in the past, but to retrieve the treasures I left behind. Let's start with Zuko. Everyone loves a good redemption arc. We watch Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender start as a bitter, exiled prince, obsessed with restoring his honor. But over time, we see him choose healing. He learns to question everything he was taught, to sit in the discomfort of his own shadow, and ultimately to fight for what's right. I looked up to Zuko, but in truth, I grew up more like Azula. Brilliant, terrifying, trapped. My own mother thought I was a monster. That line hit me harder as an adult than it ever did when I was younger. Because that kind of emotional neglect, being feared rather than loved, makes monsters out of girls who are just trying to survive. Azula wasn't born cruel. She was crafted in a system where control meant safety, where perfection was demanded, where vulnerability could be fatal. That's how I lived too. Then there was Mary Poppins. She floated down from the sky with her umbrella and a twinkle in her eye, telling us that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. And as a kid, I thought that meant just make things fun. But as an adult, I realized it's deeper than that. Mary Poppins taught me that healing doesn't always taste sweet, but with enough imagination and kindness, even hard lessons can be digested with grace. She gave us permission to mix the magical and the mundane, something I'm learning to do now. There's also Elina, the wingless fairy from the Barbie Fairytopia movies. While all the other fairies fluttered freely, Elina had to find another way. She was ridiculed for being different, underestimated because she didn't fit the mold. But that didn't stop her. She showed me that having limitations doesn't mean you're less than. It just means you're on a different path. And sometimes, the ones without wings end up flying the furthest. I didn't know then, but that story echoed something deep inside me. My neurodivergence, my struggle to keep up, my refusal to give up. Speaking of neurodivergence, SpongeBob, everyone's favorite underwater goofball. Wildly enthusiastic, endlessly curious, and yes, on the autism spectrum. His voice actor, Tom Kenny, confirmed it. And honestly, it makes so much sense. As a child who never quite fit in, I found something strangely comforting in SpongeBob's world. He poured his heart into things most people found silly. He felt things loudly. He kept loving, again and again, even when the world told him not to. Now, as an adult, I see that SpongeBob didn't teach me to be normal. He taught me to be full of wonder, to stay devoted to my passions, to work hard at things that matter to me even when no one else understands. And then there were the girls. The Powerpuff Girls, Totally Spies, Shugochara. I grew up watching squads of stylish, powerful girls who balanced friendship, fashion, and fighting evil. They taught me about femininity, though at the time, I only saw the surface. What I missed back then was how these characters were navigating an identity within a system that constantly tried to define them. As someone who never quite fit the girlhood mold, I've come to appreciate these shows not just for the glitter and action, but for what they showed about community, solidarity, and the strength of being soft and fierce at the same time. And of course, Mulan. I remember watching her sing Reflection, not realizing I would someday hum these lyrics in a mirror, asking myself the same questions. Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Mulan taught me that identity isn't about performance. It's about alignment. That honor comes not from obeying expectations, but from becoming who you truly are. It took me years to realize that, and I'm still learning. So what am I doing now? I'm going back to these stories not just with nostalgia, but with new eyes. I'm seeing the truth behind the tales. I'm collecting the medicine I didn't know I needed. Stories shape us, even when we don't realize it. And sometimes they sit dormant inside us, waiting for the right moment to bloom. So if you're like me, someone who grew up faster than you should have, someone still piecing yourself together, I invite you to revisit the tales that once held you. There might still be magic there, you just have to look again. You've been listening to Seeker's Soliloquy. I'm the Omniversal Seeker. Until next time, remember, every universe, even your inner one, has its own hero's journey. And yours? It's still unfolding.